Es necesario. ¿Por qué no te escucho más?
Ah, a ver otra vez. ¿Ya me escuchas?
Ahora sí ya.
Ok. Bueno, ¿me pueden confirmar en Facebook y YouTube que se está escuchando, porfa?
Me encanta nuestra calidad Super HD.
Se hace
Todo
lo que se
súper
puede.
preparado y listo. Como con todos.
Somos streamers profesionales ahora. Tampoco sé cuánto delay hay. Quizá debí haber hecho pruebas en estos días para probar cuánto delay hay con Facebook y YouTube. Pero bueno, es muy tarde para eso.
Se supone que
Ok, en Facebook dicen que sí se escucha. Am, bueno, entonces vamos a empezar la plática del Internship Experience. En lo que llega un poco más de gente, voy a empezar hablando un poco otra vez de qué son los internships y todo eso, y ya después vamos a empezar pues de las experiencias como tal. Entonces, a ver, no, espera, esta no es. Bueno, empiezo hablando así directamente. La plática la vamos a dar otra vez bueno, la vamos a dar en inglés. De nuevo, si tienen alguna duda o pregunta, pueden hacerlo ya sea en inglés o en español, por mensaje o por voz los que están aquí en Discord. Entonces, well, let's see to English. As we told you in the first lesson the last Monday, an internship is basically a job, a 2 weeks job usually at United States if COVID allows it. And well, during this time, you have you're working in a company. You are kind of a real software engineer. You have a project, and you need to develop this project during this time. Well, let's focus in the on-site experience because the remote experience is something weird. But well, in the on-site experience, when you pass your interviews, you start the process, and the company pays you the travel to the location, the housing bonus. Yeah, my brother goes behind me. Okay, returning to that. The company pays you a relocation bonus that basically is they pay you the house in that country. And you have two options. You can have in a housing corporation, which is the company has like a hotel for you, or they can give you some money and you can search a place by your own. In this case, if you search a place by your own, you can be with your friends or with the people that you know, etc. Okay, so the company pays you the travel to the location, the money to live there, and well, in this case, you have many options to apply, not only one company. Let me switch this. Okay, what it is? Okay, I think it looks better now. Okay, this is a website called Intern Supply. In this website, you have different companies and you can track if they are looking for people right now. You have literally many options. It's not only, well, we focus in Microsoft, Facebook, and Google because we have more experience with that, but another popular ones are Amazon, Twitter, Apple, Oracle, etc. But in the United States, you have like literally many options, not only big tech companies, also startups and etc. As we are from Mexico, we have the facility of these, how they are called, el Tratado de Libre Comercio. with US, and that allows us to have facilities with the visa. It's not literally facilities because you also suffer a lot and you need to send a lot of documents, etc. But well, because of that, we have more contact with the US locations, but you can also apply to another headquarters in, for example, Asia, Europe, etc. Okay, so returning to the companies, you have literally a lot of possibilities to apply. Here also you have the US state where they are located. You have also, well, this is another link. This is for 2020, so it's kind of an update, but here you have also another examples of the companies that you can apply for. In this case, they also contains the location, if the application period. Again, this is an update, and another notes of the apply. What is the problem with some of these companies? As we are from another country, we need to have the visa to work in United States. In normal times, you need the work permission that allows you to work in the United States. Usually the G1. Okay, so some of these companies help you or support you or sponsor you to get this visa, but another ones no. If the company not allows you, not support you, you need to get that permission by your own, and it's most difficult. But most of the companies sponsor you, and it's really easy for you to get the visa. Well, not precisely easy, but let's say not really difficult. Okay, so you have many options to apply for. Then we will send these links later. Okay, so this is the Silicon Valley space. In Silicon Valley, you have some companies that have the headquarters there. For example, Twitter, YouTube, Google, Facebook, etc. These are only a few of them. For example, here is another example. These are less companies, but this is for a API that has a lot of companies and, well, big tech companies and startups that are in Silicon Valley, which is the most popular place to work on, at least for the IT people. But what happens? You have also another headquarters in a lot of places at US. So, for example, the Microsoft ones is in Redmond. Redmond is located at Washington. Washington is here. But you have also another ones in New York. And in general, New York and California, or Silicon Valley, are the most popular ones. For example, this article, let me change to yeah, I think this is better. This article talks about where is the best place to work in the US, comparing the place, the cost of life, etc. Because especially in California, the cost of living there is really, really expensive. As close as you are to California, the most expensive is. And here you have another options. For example, in Texas, you can work at IBM, Dell, etc. I think, yeah, this is California. In California, you have Apple, Nvidia, VMware, Cisco, Amazon, etc. Seattle, you have Amazon, Microsoft, Oracle, etc. So as you can see, there are literally many options to work as an intern there. Well, and also as a full time. So returning to the internship is usually 12 weeks long or last. I don't remember which is the exact word, but well, the duration is usually 12 weeks, and during these 12 weeks, you develop a project, you work in place there, if COVID allows it, and you work with a team. You are basically a full-time employee during that time. You have the same perks. Well, not exactly the same, because as a full-time, you have some perks like the company pays you for a study or something like that. And as an intern, you have that option because of obvious reasons. But well, you can also the possibility to get a return offer. A return offer is if you do it well during this time, they give you a return offer when you can choose return as an intern or as a full time. If you want a return offer for a full-time employee, you need to work more because they are more. I forgot the word, but they require you to work more to get the return offer as a full-time. Okay, so that's basically an internship. Now we will talk about the experience being an intern. We will start with Oscar. Oscar, are
Sure,
you
right
there?
here.
Okay, give me a
Perfect.
second. Okay, I will return to this.
In the meantime,
Uh,
questions. Every question that you have right now is the right moment.
Oscar, so I put the Facebook presentation, or do you want to put
Please.
your webcam or something like that?
My webcam is already up, and you can put the presentation, please.
Okay. Okay. In which slide do you want to start?
In the first one, we can move as the questions move on. For my part, hello, my name is Oscar. I have been an intern at Facebook for the last 2 years. In 2019, I was a presential intern, a normal intern, in the Menlo Park office in the heart of Silicon Valley. And in 2020, as every other intern, I was a remote intern working from my house, from my living room. So those 2 times, I worked for the same company, for Facebook. Next slide, please. So the first thing that you should think about is what company are you trying to apply? It's okay to apply to a lot of companies just to have more experience, to know a little bit more about the interview process, and that's okay. But you should know which companies do you want to work, like in the reality. What is the things that motivate you? And for my case, Facebook crosses a lot of things that I am interested in. First one for me is the mentality they have around front-end development, like everything related to React, Recall, Reason, Flow. I love that mentality. I love the way that the company approaches front-end. So I was really interested into being able to work there and see how Facebook was built from the inside. Next slide, please. Something, at least for Facebook, that is really important is that you will be from, I don't know, the third or fourth day that you started working at the company, you will be pushing code directly to production. Pushing code directly to production in Facebook mean impacting 1 million, 2 million, 50 million people. Maybe you just change the color of a button, or maybe you change the flow of the messenger application or something like that. But the change that you are going to do, you are going to impact a lot of people. So you are going to have a lot of responsibility. If you really like companies where you are able to make changes, to propose new ideas, to tackle the problems in the way that you think is more feasible, Facebook is a really great place. They give you a lot of liberty, and you are able to solve problems as you think that they are appropriate. Obviously, you have managers and people behind you that are super careful that you mess everything up, and there is a lot of safeguards in the system, so you cannot destroy Facebook or push the page up or something like that. But you have a lot of liberty of how to solve the problem. So if you are interested in that, Facebook is a really good place to work with. Next one, please. Yeah. If you start thinking about applying for Facebook, the words that you should start thinking about is impact. Is how do you change or how do you impact the life of others? And something super deeply into the company, at least in the 2 teams that I have worked with, is that you have a lot of power. You have a lot of power of changing things. If you really like, for example, I know that in Google everything is super strict, and you have like a lot of tests and things that you have to do before you start rolling those changes. Even because now you can roll everything as you wish, well, with some exceptions, but you have a lot more liberty. So you can do most meaningful work, I believe, of any intern in Facebook. Next one. Yeah, also something really important for companies is a lot of them have like a slogan, a mission, a vision. In the case of Facebook, it's really simple, is to give people the power to build community and bring the work closer together. So if you are passionate about doing that, if you are passionate about connecting people, if you are passionate about, I don't know, dating and how to connect to people that have the same interests as you, if you are interested in how to create communities, I think that Facebook is a really good place to work with. Next one. Yeah, continue with the same idea. This presentation is basically a bunch of screenshots of the Facebook engineering site, so you can check it of your own. It's kind of old. It has like a couple of months, maybe a year, but the idea is mostly the same. The projects that you are going to be working with are a lot of people, especially businesses. Small businesses is something that is super important for Facebook. So if you like helping small restaurants and something with ads and showing these new small businesses to other people, Facebook is also a really good place to work with. Next one, please. Now, coming back to the earth and not like, what do you do as an intern? Imagine if COVID was not the case, possibly next year or in 2 years or something like that. Maybe even 6 months. Let's see how things move on. The first thing that I remember when I started looking back into my time with Facebook is the food. Oh my God, the food is so amazing. Next slide, please. I mainly have not been able to take photos of the inside. So I go through Instagram and try to find some dishes that I was able to taste myself. And it is amazing. On Facebook Office, at least on the Menlo Park office, you have like 20 or even maybe more places where you can eat, like Mexican style food. You can go with Korean, with Chinese, Asian, hamburgers, pizza, Italian, ice creams. Everything is free for every employee. So you can go and eat as much as or as little as you want. There is a lot of salads. There is a lot of milkshakes. There is a lot of everything. So if you really like food, Facebook is a really good place to work with too. Next one, please. Yeah, that is a screenshot of the inside of one of the offices. Obviously, I think that that's not mine, but it's some picture I found in the internet. But I'm not able to show you the offices on real life because obviously the screens and the boards and everything, there is a lot of secrets in there. But I don't know, for every 20 feet or 50 meters, there is always a place like this where you can find snacks like potato chips, nuts, apples, bananas, cereal, everything that you want to. You are super close to food in every place of the company. It's really good. Next one. Continuing with the food, I think that you all got the idea. The food is amazing. Next one.
As a commentary, I think, well, I read in some place that Menlo Park has like 3 or 4 different restaurants inside.
No, I think that it's more close to 20, maybe
Oh
more.
my God, I hate you. Well, and the restaurants there are obviously free. Oscar
Yeah.
got his
They are
topper
free
and
or
during the week gets
yeah.
food for the weekend.
There is maybe 3 or 4 big restaurants, like they can hold 1,000 people. There are a lot of small restaurants that can hold 3 or 4 people at a time, and yeah, it's really good. There is a lot of variety. And yeah, continue with the idea. The offices that you will work on, if COVID allows us and you are an intern, or maybe in the future when you go full time, offices are really great. The only office that I have ever visited is the Menlo Park office, like the central one and the Messenger and WhatsApp office that is super close to the city. So I only have the idea for that specific office. But for the 3 offices that I have visited, they are all amazing. Next one, please. I think they have a couple of photos. There is a lot of open space. You have a desk and you have a really good chair and you have a really good monitor and you can even get more monitors if you wish for free. Just for your work, you have to return it at the end. You have a desk, you have a monitor, and you can work on your desk if you want to. But if you don't want to, you can go and move throughout the campus. Like it is really close to the experience of a university campus. Like if you have ever visited UNAM or something like that, the experience is more or less the same. You can go and move throughout the campus and work during the mornings in the rooftops, or maybe in the basement, or maybe in a restaurant, or as you wish. You have a lot of liberty of working whenever you want, wherever you want. Next one, please. This is the Menlo Park office. As you can see, there is not super tall buildings and everything is great. There is a lot of color, there's a lot of space. It's a really good place to work with. There is a lot of light, so it's not like the classical experience of working in an office of a lot of, I don't know how to say that in English, cubículos, and everything is gray and everything is deep. No, you have a lot of space, you have a lot of sun, you have a lot of food, you have a lot of activities that are curriculum. So working there really motivates you to do more and to focus on impact and things like that. Next one, please. Yeah, that is also a photo of the Menlo Park campus. There is also a lot of art in the campus, especially in Facebook. I'm not totally sure about other companies, but I'm pretty sure that Facebook has a lot of emphasis on art. So every day, almost every day, I remember seeing someone painting something. So I'm not totally sure if I am able to show that, the drawings. Maybe you can found it online. But there is a lot of art, there is a lot of slogans, there is a lot of, you can change things. This is a hacker company, move fast and break things. There is a lot of that stuff all over the place. Next one, please. And this is the offices. I'm pretty sure that this is from online, so I'm not getting into trouble here. This Facebook, I'm pretty sure that the other companies too, they have this idea of an open space. So you don't have walls separating you and your coworkers. That is not super great because you get distracted by everything. But if you have a problem, if you have a question, if you want to create a super quick meeting, you have to move your head and start talking, and that's it. So the friction to creating a meeting or to interacting with your manager or something like that is really small. You can use headphones and whatever and be super focused on your work, or have a small something in your desk that says, please don't interrupt me right now. But usually you can be able to go to whatever person you want and start talking to them. And they are super open. Really good for collaboration, this space. Next one.
Well, as a compliment comment, that chairs there are Herman Miller. If you don't know what is a Herman Miller chair, are super expensive chairs. So it's
I
something
did not know
really
that, but they are really good. I did not know that, but they were really good.
Yeah, they are really good. And well, also, well, I was a remote intern, and they sent me a machine to work from my home, and also Facebook gives you a cell phone.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
company cell phone. That's also another cool thing.
It is another photo of the offices. I work in Menlo Park, and Menlo Park is the central office. And because it's the central office, there is a lot of people working around. The creator of Rust, or the Mark Zuckerberg, or there is a lot of important people. Maybe not people that you know right now. For example, Dan Abramov is not super famous, but inside of the React community, it's super famous. And you are able to see them and to chat with them, or even have a meeting with them if the time allows you to. So maybe not with Mark Zuckerberg, because the calendar of Mark is super big, but you can basically go out and see what these people are working on. And this is really good.
Well, I think it is public information. If not, sorry. But in Facebook in general, they want to keep you connected with everyone, so you can send a message to everyone in the company. And for example, I got during my internship meetings with the boss of my boss of my boss, and we talk about how it's working at Facebook and something like that. So it's super easy. And also, when you are working, if you need to modify something and you see that the people modify that part, you can send him a message, and every people in the company is like really open and answer you. It's really cool.
Completely agree with that. Yeah, that is the photo to the left. It's a photo where I was living. I decided to choose corporate housing. That means the company take care of everything. They just give me the key and here's your apartment. You can live here. Obviously, if I choose to go with the other option, maybe I could use the money more wisely and save some more or pick a better plan. But with corporate housing, I don't have to worry about anything. This was my first time going to the US, so I was super nervous. I have no idea how to rent an apartment or something like that. So I choose corporate housing. And the great thing for me, I'm not totally sure that it is the case for every other intern, but the great thing for me is my house was like 100 meters across the office. So I can walk every day, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, just cross a bridge, and I was already at the office. It was super useful. Another perk of corporate housing. Houses were amazing. Next one. There's also photos of the restaurants inside the campus. Really good. Next one. Oh, really interesting and related to presential internships and full-time job and things like that. Especially during interns, they know, and I'm talking about Facebook and Microsoft and Google. They know that you are a teenager in another country, usually in another country or in another part of the US. You are not close to your family. You don't have a lot of friends. You don't really know any other interns. So they really go out of their way trying to create community. And one of the ways that they try to improve that is through something that they call on-sites or off-sites. And that is just taking a bunch of interns and going throughout the city or throughout some place nearby to make friendships and meet other people and do something cool. So, for example, I remember in 2019, the first one was go to the opera. And it was not super amazing, like, okay, go to the opera. But the thing was that the thing that was in the opera right now was Hamilton. So that was really amazing. Go ski in Nevada, or go to a basketball game, or let's go to book someday or something like that. So there was a lot of things that you could do outside of work with other people, especially because that the other interns are really similar to you. They have mostly the same interests, but they have a completely different experience. Maybe they are from another country. Maybe they are from other continent. Maybe they don't know anything in Spanish, or maybe they are also starting just to learn English. So the possibility to meet a lot of people in this context is really important, and I think it was a really good bonus to the work experience that I got. Next one. Yeah, the another upside was to Circo du Soleil, El Circo del Sol. It was also amazing. Really, really good. Next one. Culture. Let's move to the next slide if I remember what I'm going to talk about. Okay, I really like this slide. I have not worked in all of these companies. I'm not totally sure that this slide is super correct and everything is real. But let's suppose that this is real. Here you can see in just one slide the difference between the companies. I can assure you that Facebook is as the picture is saying. You have a lot of small nodes. In this case, they are teams, maybe 10, 5, 7 people, or even 3 people working on some project. Maybe they are working on some part of Messenger. Maybe they are working on ads on WhatsApp. Maybe they are working on videos on Facebook. And there is a lot of teams. Practically all of teams are the same in terms of importance. There is not like a big team and a small team, or a very important team and a not so important team. Everything is more or less the same, and they are connected with other teams. Maybe you are working in videos on Facebook, you are going to be working with videos on Instagram. and maybe you're also going to be working with newsfeed and so on. So the teams are really connected to each other. You have the opportunity to talk with other people, but it's not like there is a boss. The only boss that I think I understand in the company was the boss of my team, and there was nothing like about that. Everything about that is just a graph. So, do you really like that idea of a company where you don't have like a super rigid structure and you can move super quickly between teams? I think that Facebook is a really good team. I'm going to pause here. The other interns for Microsoft, they can confirm my idea that this image is real?
Probably. I'm not really sure either, but I'm
Please.
really sure it's not like Facebook where you can communicate like that. So it's a little bit different. Maybe not exactly as a picture, but definitely it's something related.
Mhm.
Well, I need to add that,
Okay.
well, that,
Yeah.
let's say, culture is not always good, because some moments, like,
Oh
people
yeah.
for other team modify your team's code, and he modifies something that was not correct. So it's kind of open, but sometimes it's difficult because of that. For example, funny
Mhm.
story. I start working with a tool from another team, and I was like, okay, this is Facebook. We can use the resources that we want, and I do something.
Mhm.
The team was not exactly little team, but it was not focused in a lot of requests. So I
Mhm.
overload in some moment their system, because I didn't ask everything, or not ask enough, and I need to be a complete day working with the other people's team to fix what I overload, and manage the overload and that thing. So in some moments it's kind of difficult. Well, not really good
Mhm.
always.
I think that there is some slides at the end about what is the bad things about working at Facebook. Uh,
So
how
continue.
we're going with time? Do you want to move slower or faster?
I think faster.
Okay, next one, next one. Let's move a little bit faster. Uh, let's see what this slide is about. Basically, super quickly, concise resume about interns. You are going to have a mentor, or in a Facebook slang, they are going to be your intern manager. This is going to be a person that is going to work in the same team that you are going to work with. They are going to know everything you're going to work. Maybe they are even the person that created the projects that you are going to be working in. So they really understand everything that is going on, and they have the whole mission is to make you learn more, make you be more open, make you like have a great experience. So you have someone that is always by your side. Uh, you are going to start working on real projects, on real. They're like small projects or things that no one is going to see. At least for my case, you are always going to be working on something that is really important and that is really urgent, and you have to finish it as fast as possible. You are going to have almost the same benefits that a full-time employee has. Maybe not things like 401ks and things related to retirement and things like that, but on a normal day-to-day basis, you are going to be a normal full-time employee. This one, please. Yeah, there is a lot of things that Facebook really value. Focusing on impact, moving fast. The original phrase was moving fast and breaking things, but maybe Facebook is too big right now to start breaking things. Be
In
bold,
fact,
be
they
open.
need to change the last part of break things, because the Cambridge Analytica case.
Yeah, but at least for my case, or during my two interns, I break a lot of things. So you still have to break a lot of things.
Me too.
You have to be social value to make connection in the real world and things like that matter. The next one is something that I believe it's true, at least for my two internships. Putting at Facebook is someone else's problem. If you think that you can do it better, if you think that you can solve a problem maybe related to the community or maybe related to code, you can try to do it. There is nothing stopping you. You can try to create a push recipe. If the things that you are thinking of, it's a good solution. Next one, please. Let's try to move a little bit faster. Next one. Next one, engineering. Let's talk about things you may be working at Facebook. If you really like Flow, that is more or less the same thing as TypeScript, you are going to like working at Facebook. If you like Reason, Reason is like a skin of OCaml. If you really like functional programming and you like front-end, you're really going to like Reason. If you like PHP, almost no one likes PHP, and almost no one likes Hack. But if you like PHP, you are going to be happy working at Facebook. Next one. Especially if you like React, you're going to be really happy because almost everything at Facebook uses React. So in another way or another, you're really going to like it in that case. Next one. If you are more related to backend, there is Folly, C++ library. There is interesting things that you can talk about here, but I don't have time. If you like Haskell, there is a lot of things going on around there. Next one. If you want to try some GraphQL, this is the place that invented it, so you are going to have a lot of experience here. React Native. Next one. If you are related to data science, Facebook was the people that created PyTorch or Cactus. Or FastAI, I'm pretty sure that they also created FastAI. So you are going to work with these tools. Next one. Hermes. This is also like super deep inside of VMs and things like that, but they also have created a VM for running React Native. Next one. Now, let's talk about the bad things, the chaos. As Manuel mentioned it before, everything is a mess. Everything is not updated. Everything is legacy code. Everything is not working. Everything is one code review from being deprecated. Everything is a mess. You really like that experience about having that liberty, but understand the things that comes with that. There is not really good documentation. There is a lot of things that are bad. In one word, there is a lot of chaos. If you like that, go ahead. The thing also is the chaos. Do you thrive in that environment? Do you like things not being super organized and having the opportunity to move things around as you think is the good way? Or going to an organization or to a community that is trying to improve things in some way? I think that Facebook is a really good place. Next one. I think that Facebook have a lot of bad PR related to how Mark organized the company and how he directs it and things like that. The best thing that I can say to those people is the company is relatively open. You can see why the directors and the persons at the top are doing the things that they are doing. What are the motivations? And one of the ways that we know about those things is because every Friday, if I'm not mistaken, every Friday at afternoon, and the other directors of like vice president of relations or engineering or things like that have a Q&A. So you can ask whatever you want. And we have a poll, and the most 15 certain or voted questions, they are going to ask you live. So it's really interesting to see those discussions. Obviously, those discussions are private. Those discussions are not for everyone. But I'm pretty sure that something bad happened last year. Next one. It turns out that an intern recorded one of the Q&As and uploaded to the internet. That was not the case. That was not a thing that I'm not totally sure if that was illegal, but the idea was that was not the focus of the Q&A to the world can see it. The thing is, the Q&A is already up, and even right now, the Q&A is on Mark Facebook, so you can go and see the Q&A. Pretty sure that is from last year or even 2 years ago. But the thing is more or less the same thing. So if you want to see how the company is run from the inside, I think that that is the best 40 minutes that you can see because it's a close look inside how the company is managed from the inside. Next one. Yeah, here is the link if you want to, or you can just search it, Mark Q&A. I'm pretty sure that you can find it anyway. And other things. Working from home was a really different experience. Just to be totally sure that we cover this thing. At least for Facebook, they were really open between how you want to work. Do you want to work in your house? Do you want to that we give you money to rent an apartment? Do you need money for the internet connection? Do you need money for the mobile data that you are going to use? They were really open about that and really helpful. They sent me a computer, they sent me a phone, they sent me charger, they sent me everything that I needed to start working. So it was really comfortable in that sense. And working from home is another different beast. So maybe we have time, we can talk about that at the end. Next one. Yeah, in the future, I'm pretty sure that because of COVID and mainly because of the nature of Facebook, they are going to be a lot more open about remote work. Do you want to work for a company or for a big company and maybe still work in Mexico? Maybe this is a really good option, or maybe work in Brazil or in India or as you wish. Maybe that is a good option. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's everything that I have prepared for you.
If you have any question, you can write it in the chat or tell us. For now, let me make a quick change. Okay, wait me a second. I need to put the next presentation.
Professional streamers.
Yeah, exactly that. Okay, what it is? This one. Okay. Okay, now we will talk about Microsoft.
I like the company. So.
Yeah. So here we have, well, Sergio, Duarte, and Gober.
Probably you can show the other slide so that
Okay, yeah,
people
ready.
can see we are the next one.
The next one?
Yes.
Are we seeing the same? This one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So go ahead.
Okay, so as Manuel was saying, so those guys that are in the picture where we are right here, except for two of them. But well, my name is Sergio. We have Gover here, and then we have Eduardo. The three of us, we had a experience as interns in 2019 with Microsoft. And well, we are returning interns, and Gover is actually I'm the only returning intern. Gover and Duar probably are returning back as full time. It is also important to mention that Hugo has also an internship in Google, so he will talk about that after Microsoft. So yeah, let's go ahead. So the first thing I want to say is that most of the things that Oscar mentioned about Facebook are also applied to Microsoft. So about the amenities and the relocation benefits, all of them apply to Microsoft as well, except for the food. Microsoft does not give free food. That is the only like downside of this. Um, However, Microsoft has something called a passport. So this passport is helps you to have some discounts in many stores. So it is really helpful. And then you also get the same benefits as a full time in Microsoft. Well, of course, with some exceptions, but most of it. Okay, so let's. I think we have to go to the next. think not that one.
What?
I think the previous one, because that's about the events.
The previous one is this
But
one.
I wanted to. Oh, it's interesting. I think there
Which
were
one do you
images
want?
about.
This
Yeah,
one?
the ones that have the offices.
That one?
Ah, yeah, that one. Those. So there you can see like some examples of how is Microsoft in the inside. So that is just one building. That's the building where I was when I did my internship. But there are more buildings, and there are more modern buildings. Probably covers and doors one was were better buildings, but all the buildings have this free drinks. You have free drinks. You have all the amenities there except for food. I remember. Um, but yeah, most of it is how it looks. And well, as Oscar mentioned, the communication between teams and teams is different in Microsoft. It's not like really it is easy, but it's not like I don't know how to say this immediately. You don't get to do that often in Microsoft. Um yeah,
Well, I
so
want to
Microsoft
add
has also
something else, only to clarify. Sergio was a explore internship there, while Gober and Duar were uh, normal interns.
yeah, that's important to mention. So since I was an Explorer intern, I get to have a team with two more peers. So you look at the picture in the right, you can see myself, my manager, and two of my peers. So one of them was from India. The other one looks like Asiatic, but it's actually from America, from United States. So so you can see that there are many cultures there. My manager was from Africa, so it is a very multicultural space, and you get to meet a lot of different cultures, and that is a really good experience. So most of my team was multi. You can find other teams that probably is more maybe more people from United States than other, but most of them are really multicultural. And one thing that happens with Microsoft is that there are a lot of Mexicans in that companies. The community of Mexicans there is like huge, and it's really
Especially in
amazing.
Seattle. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, especially in Seattle. So the community of Mexicans there is huge. It's immense. Um, I think we have some photos later, but
Uh,
we'll show them later.
I want to add
For
that,
now, I
for
think we can
example,
go on to the next.
Facebook
Yes.
let you do the internship in different offices. For example, in Menlo Park, which is the headquarters, Seattle, New York, etc. I don't remember the other ones. I think these are the most popular ones. But Microsoft, most of the people goes to Redmond,
Mm-hmm.
so I think
So,
that's why you find more Mexicans there.
Also,
yeah,
by the
probably.
way, yeah, in the recent years, they have been opening a lot of like spaces in other states in the US. Also, I guess they got like a very big campus on Canada, so you can apply to those roles. But yeah, as my peers were saying, most of the people were from Redmond.
Yeah. Well, Redmond campus is like
So
really
we
immense.
return to the
There are a
previous
lot of
slide, which
buildings.
is the events. This one.
Yes. So another thing about Microsoft is that it looks like they really care about their interns. So like they make a lot of events. One of them is the one called Intern Event, where they well this time they did a concert. So there were like at least three artists, and we enjoyed the concert. It was like really amazing experience. Apart from that, they put games, they put some other stuff to do that day. So it's like an important day just for interns. You receive gifts, you receive like a lot of things that day. So that's a really cool thing about Microsoft. I don't think any other company has this. I think Microsoft is the only one. So Facebook, I think they also have events, but they are more generic events, not as this one, which are like very specific for interns. and that's the really cool stuff about.
Well, I want to add that the guy in the left picture, the most left one, he works
Yes.
to Facebook. So another good thing is that if you are, for example, in Seattle, you can, well, the offices are closed. So the office at Facebook is in Seattle, and the office from Microsoft is for Redmond. So you can meet your friends if they are there, obviously.
Cool. And well, apart from that, also in Microsoft, you get to do many activities. So these activities, some of them are sponsored by Microsoft. So Microsoft um, adds you to some team, and then that team like starts creating some events, and then you go to some activities. One of them could be hiking, another one could be going kayaking, and several stop going to the beach. So this is helpful because you get to meet more interns, and yeah, you get to socialize more, and then just meet more people for different cultures. And well, here you got some examples. So I love basketball, so right me in the basketball court is me. Um, an example of the office in the right bottom corner is that we have a, I don't know how to call this, football. I don't remember the name in English, but futbolito. And well, you can see how cool are the offices. Then you can see there is a house in the tree, so that's building 32 in Microsoft. You can get to enter to those houses in the trees. They are really cool. So as you can see, Microsoft like has really this tiny stuff that makes it cool. Gover, do you want to add something to this?
Yeah, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah. So basically, as we were saying, there are a lot of like people that are from Mexico working in Microsoft. So this is special because you don't feel like you are the only one that are working alone in the US, right? There are a lot of like people that you can tag, that you can get support if you don't feel like real alone. And as you can see in the photo, I guess it's a multicultural university and multicultural in terms of like persons that you are going to know there. For example, there are a lot of persons from Monterrey and from other universities here in Mexico City. So yeah, you can expand your network by meeting other peers that work at the same company as you. Next one, please. And one of the most important things that you have to be aware if you want to apply to an internship is the life outside the offices, right? Even if you are going to have like inter events and you're going to meet a lot of people, maybe also you want to consider what are the perks or the benefits or working in one area from area, right? For example, as Oscar was saying, living in California is like super expensive, but maybe you want to meet California in person, right? But maybe you would like to experiment nightlife in Seattle because every posting says that nightlife in Seattle is like super cool. So you're very near to Seattle. So yeah, this is something that you really need to consider. In which position do you want to apply? Because if you get the job, you're going to travel to that place. Well, in the in the best scenario possible, because you know we're in COVID situations. Uh, but yeah, try like to consider all these perks, places that where you're going to gonna live, and also the comments for other persons that have been working there. Because well, for example, maybe you don't want like to go on call in one night because something broke at Facebook, or I don't know. I'm just speculating. So yeah, that's all for me. Do you want to add something more?
just one final thing. So Microsoft has this hackathon that celebrates in summer. So this is also an opportunity for us to participate in it. So everyone in the company can participate, and then they make like a really huge thing about it. So yeah, that's also cool to have experience. And yeah, that's it about Microsoft. Any doubts?
Well, I only want to add that, well, right now we don't have people here that have been working remote at Microsoft, but they also sent to the people working there, I think, a machine to work, a monitor, and I don't remember if a mouse or something like that. So they also take care of you when you're working at them. I think to you they give you a Surface, if I'm not wrong, when you were in the US.
Yes.
So in general, the companies take care of you, and they not only take care in the technical work, they also make these kind of events. I remember that a friend of us, well, I think Over was the people that told me that they'd make a kind of Hunger Games event a few years ago. And well, these kind of events are like to know people from other cities and something like that. Oh, funny story. In Facebook, in our remote work, Sergio and I uh, registered to an event to was a art event if I'm not remember wrong.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They sent us well paints and well stuff to make art, but they arrived like well for me I think 1.5 months later. To Sergio, I think 2 weeks later of the event. So it's really
Really
complicated working
disappointing.
that in that conditions. But they try to do different events. In the remote work, we also make escape rooms, and well, I'm not sure if the name is the same, but papyroflexia. So they try to give you different experience to know other people from other places that are also working as an intern. Uh, we don't have photos to do our presentation about Google, but do you want to talk or do you want to me to search something, Duarte? Do you want to put your face?
No, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have any pictures from Google. However, it's not very different from the photos you show. What I can say that is kind of different might be the technology. The technology, or the tools we had at Google. So it doesn't change too much. I think the recurring process is slightly different from the Microsoft recurring process or the Facebook recurring process. But if you what I can tell you from my experience is that if you get ready for Microsoft or Facebook interviews, then the Google interview is pretty much the same thing. So yeah, you don't have to worry too much about it. And from on my experience, what I can say, it's almost the same amount of work that you do at Google than Microsoft. Almost the same perks. Besides from the uh, the colorful gap you get on the first week after you end your introduction event. Uh, it is pretty much the same than the other perks you get at Facebook. I think you get free food, and also you get if you have a dog and you are able to bring your dog to the US or something like that, then you can bring your dog to work. Um, Another perk on the top of my mind, I think. Well, yeah, you have to be aware that most of these perks uh, might not be available to you because, as you know, the COVID situation has changed completely the industry. So I couldn't get too excited about having these perks. as COVID changed completely how the dynamic is in our workplaces. So yeah, remotely, I don't know what Google did for remote workers. So I think they did the same that Facebook and Microsoft did. So you don't have to worry about like getting a computer only for work, or getting even an stipend for something you may need in your home. So yeah, all of those companies have pretty good perks if you are interested in working for them. Is there something else I am missing? Any question you may have?
Can you talk about which intern events do you have at Google or something like that?
Oh yeah, that's interesting because I had an intern on fall, so we didn't have many intern events besides I think a couple of um, events only for interns, but they were inside Google, so it was just like a meeting between interns. They didn't have any huge event for us, like in Microsoft, where you have even a concert, a private concert for interns. At Google, we didn't have that. Well, I didn't have that experience. However, I think interns have the chance to travel with the team if they have an event outside, and you also may have a couple of events paid by the company, like all the like everything is paid by the company, like your travel expenses are covered by the company. And I think they also have in the summer, which is the season where they have most of the interns. As I said, I was an intern in the fall, so I didn't experience much of that. And yeah, you have many things to do in the Bay Area with people that are also working for the tech industry. I think there is also an event where you can meet people from other companies. I think it's called. I think it's even some kind of a special date in the US, which is called the Intern Day. And you get to meet people from companies in the Bay Area, which, I mean, there are many companies out there, like not only Google. There is also Facebook, Uber, Twitter, and many other companies. You name it. There are many companies where, and Google pay for your Google also covered your travel expenses to that place. And as you are a Google intern, you get to travel to this event. But as I said, this is also another perk that you get only when the COVID thing wasn't there. So it may change. I am not sure if that is still a perk.
Well,
Yeah.
another thing is when Duarte was intern at Google, we have another friends that were interns at Facebook and Menlo Park. So the campus are close, so they also meet and make things together in California.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't remember that. If you have and you will have friends at Facebook working maybe in the same city, even in the same city, you can just text them and tell them, hey, can I visit you, or come to visit me to my workplace? And yeah, you can visit your acquaintances there. So yeah, you will have many friends there, which are also from Nutria. So it will be a pretty good experience if we have the chance to get back to work offices. So yeah, you have the chance. Oh, and also if you are a traveler and an adventurer, then you can definitely just rent a car or something like that and travel to another city within the US, or even you can travel to another country like we did. And for example, we went to Canada, which and the border was pretty close from Seattle. It was like if I remember if I recall correctly, it was like 2 hours from Seattle. So you can also travel to another country, but you are in your intern. Yeah, you can do many stuff there besides just the work.
Well, here also we have Martin. Martin was intern, well, remote intern at Google. Uh, During your internship at Google, Martin, do you have events or something like that?
Yeah, we had some events, but I didn't attend to some of those because they were kind of in the afternoon. So um, yeah, I used to spend time with my family in that in that moments. But for sure, there are a lot of events. Um, there are not like um, probably as good as the um, physical ones, like in the offices. But yeah, I had some friends who attended to some of those, and they said they were like pretty good still. For example, they had like trivias of Harry Potter, things like that, and also they used to bring some kind of celebrities in the technology ambit to talk about a little bit, yeah, of their experiences. So you can always, um, yeah, just take a moment to listen to them, and that was the kind of of events we had there on Google.
Well, if you have any question, you can start asking. Oscar, Uriel asked about if there is something you would have loved to know before your first internship at Facebook.
Lot of things. I'm going to specifically talk about Facebook, but I think that mainly all the things that I'm going to talk about apply to other companies. You got accepted, you finished the interview process, and you are ready waiting to start your first internship. I think that maybe 2, 3, or 4 months before your starting date, we are going to contact you. Like, this is your team, you're going to be working with these people on this project, on this product. For example, talking about Facebook, you are going to be working in Messenger, improving the search experience, something like that. So you already know what part of the company you are going to be working with, what team you are going to be working in, and usually your intermanager, your mentor, the person that is going to be working with you. So things that you can do is stack them, like search who is your mentor, what are the things that he or she is interested in, and talk to them and tell them, I'm going to be your intern on the summer or on the fall. We are going to be working on this project. Do you have more information that you can tell me about what specifically I'm going to be working in? For example, suppose that they are going to tell you, yeah, you are going to be working on relationship databases and optimizations. If you are not super cool at databases, you can start reading about them. Maybe they are going to tell you, we are going to be redesigning the UI experience. And start learning about theory of color, React, Figma, and things like that. Or maybe they are going to tell you, yeah, we are going to create a new machine learning model to improve the search experience. So you start learning about neural networks and things like that. So the idea is simple. Talk to your manager, talk to your team, even before you start working. to know what things they are expecting you to know, or what things are you going to be working with. Maybe this is something that you are super cool about, so you can relax. But maybe you are going to be working on something that you have no idea how to handle. Maybe, for example, for Facebook, you are going to be working on backend, and PHP and Hack is a mess. So you definitely need to start learning about those things. So the idea is simple. Talk to your manager and see what things you can start learning before you start your internship. So the experience is a lot smoother because I think, at least for me, the biggest problem that I have in both of my internships was that at the beginning, like for the first 2 or 3 weeks, I had no idea of what I was doing. I have no idea of how to do those things, how to solve the problems that I was supposed to be solving. And I have to spend the first 2 weeks like just learning about a bunch of stuff. So learn beforehand at your pace. Uh, Relax. You don't have to come in blank for your first day. You can start asking questions before.
Anyways, if you have an internship, please let us know. We are working in another kind of workshop to support you with that. And in most of the companies, well, I think, no, let me change the phrase. In all the companies, you have a mentor or a manager, which will be helping you during this time. Also, you will have peers or teammates that will help you also. So don't worry about doesn't know anything at the beginning. Only when you start your internship and work hard and learn the things that you need to do. And well, when we were at the Inter, we have like the mentality of, um, let's say, work now hard, and when you get the full-time employee, you can take it more easier. At least was my
I agree
mentality.
with
Okay, if you have any other questions, you can put it in the chat. I will add something that I'm not sure if we mentioned. When you work on site, you have also another perks like the transport. The company allows you to get a car or a bicycle, or they have like, uh, I'm not sure if
Company.
they are private bus, something like that.
private
Go,
buses around.
yes.
At least for Facebook, they are private. Only full-time employees and interns can use them.
Oh, well, you have your answer there. In Microsoft,
Yeah,
I'm
but
not sure. Yes.
yeah. For example, for Facebook, you can get a bike. On California, is usually the same. The better idea. You can get like a card prepaid with a lot of money, so you can go to the bus, go to the train, and don't have to worry about the ticket cost. You can rent a car. You have all the paperwork necessary for doing that. And also, there is I know that Facebook and Google have this perk. There is like buses that go from all around the city to the central hubs. So if do you want to go from your house to your work, or from to your work to your house, it's a really good way of moving around.
In case of Microsoft, Microsoft just has like, these buses or like kind of taxis that have a specific route. And then if you are inside the headquarters, then you can request them to transport you between building and building. But not as Facebook or Google, you don't have here transport from your house to the office directly. There is something called that is like these huge buses that for you, but you have to take in a specific will be the difference.
Well, and talking about the remote work, well, in my experience, another perks that are giving you now is they give you a bonus to both things to work remotely, like desk and chair and monitors, etc. Also, they kept you, at least at Facebook, a bonus to for the internet. Well, it's not a
Mhm.
bonus; it's a reimbursement. So during your work, you can increase your internet, and they will pay you for that. And what other things they have? Oh, the wellness reimbursement. Uh,
Yeah.
they gave you money to go to the gym or to buy something to make exercise in your house. Also, it applies for um, kinds of therapies. I think they have also this kind of perks to go to the doctor, to the dentist, etc. What other perks they have? Well, in Mexico, I think they give you Microsoft. Sorry, they give you. Uh, I'm not sure how is the translation. Vales de despensa. I
Really?
think I'm not totally sure, but I think one of our friends tell us that. Um, well, do you have any other questions? If not, we can. Well, I'm not sure if we need to talk about something else.
I think not. The remote experience is really different. I agree with everyone that is thinking that. It's not the same. It's the best that we can get. The world is falling apart. It's really great that we are still able to have these experiences, the best that we can have them.
Yeah, we are focusing the on-site experience because some of you or most of you will be applying for the next year. For this year is kind of closed most of the dates. I think only Facebook and probably Google continue. Uh, I forgot about continue recruiting for this year. So that's why we are focusing the on-site experience. But if you have any question about remote work, we also can talk about that. In my experience, I don't have a previous on-site intern, so it was kind of disappointing have my first internship remote. But I really like my team. There is also a kind of lucky factor here because you depend of which team do you have or which or your project or something like that. So that's why you have also a kind of lucky factor here. But my team was really nice. My manager was a Mexican, but he has been at US at I think most of his life. I mean, he goes to US for the high school and so on. He was at US, so was more American than Mexican, I think. So you also can find Mexicans. I think Sergio has another Mexican in his team.
Yeah, right.
But I think
That's
the
right.
most, well, at least for me, the most valuable part of this experience was obviously not only the professional part because you learn a lot and working in this kind of companies was really, really uh, amazing, but the cultural part, knowing people for all the kinds of the globe. For example, in my team, I have one Brazilian guy. Uh, who is the one girl from Singapore, another European, well, a lot of American and Chinese people. So you learn about a lot of countries. You can ask them about that. Also, you can learn, the meeting another interns for other countries is also something cool. And well, I think in person was most amazing.
I'm just going to add that I have this analogy. Having a normal intern, essentially intern, is like having a relationship. Having a remote intern is like having a long distance relationship. They are kind of the same. They have different perks, but yeah, the feeling is more or less the same.
What was that comparison?
In my mind, that is the difference between one and the other.
Okay, well, so don't worry. And well, at the end, I think obviously have an intern is really really cool. Well, if it's a remote intern, the initial salary will be different because they translate it to Mexican salary, but it's also really good. But obviously, at the end, the most valuable part is getting the full-time employee, I think, because you are kind of securing your future. And also the cultural experience, because as I told you, a lot of people from all the world. That is really cool. I think, well, at least from my point of view, that kind of experience also, well, I want to have uh, exchange, a student exchange. Due to COVID, also was wrong, but I think that kind of experience is really, really cool for your personal development. So if you can apply and get an intern, it's really cool. Try to, and we are here to help you. I don't see any questions, so I think they are, well, they don't have any questions. We will close earlier today.
Yeah. Exactly. Early. It's
Oh, Sergio, can you clarify the thing about the boss? How to stop the boss?
Not sure. I don't know. What do you say, Gover?
It's complicated because you got like two different bosses. There is
No,
like
I think Manuel refers to how to literally stop the bus, like the public transportation. What is it, trick?
oh okay.
So I think a trick that most Mexicans we don't know, and we haven't shared this with Manuel because we don't want to spoil his
Oh, come
experience
on.
experience.
Well, the
on the
context
bus.
about this is
So,
when I got my intern at Microsoft, they told me that I need to learn how to stop the boss in person, and they don't want to tell me how to stop the boss because they told me that they make a kind of embarrassing situation when when they stop the boss the first time.
yeah, almost all the persons that travel to the US for the first time, they are going to encounter this problem, and it is very funny because you know that the next station is the one that you need to go out of the bus, and you're like,
you don't know
okay,
how to.
I do this. In Mexico, you can scream like aquí bajan, no? But you cannot do that in the US.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
tried.
We just don't want to ruin you that experience. So probably when we are there, you will figure out.
Okay, but if I can avoid the embarrassing situation, will be better. I continue trying to get it. Okay,
One day.
so if you don't have more questions, we will finish here the talk. If you have more questions, you can write us, and well, we will answer you.
See you.
See you.
Bye bye.